Are you tired of career politicians in Tallahassee being influenced and owned by special interest money? Florida has a choice. Introducing Bob White, a people's candidate for governor.
Hi folks, I'm Bob White, and I'm a candidate for governor here running in the Republican primary in Florida. I'd like to take just a few minutes today to tell you a little bit about myself and why I'm running. I'm a fourth-generation Floridian. I grew up right here in Central Florida in a little town called Haines City. I was one of 3 children, and we did all the things that you would expect of kids growing up in a small town. We hunted, we fished, we water skied, we worked in the citrus industry. Those were our summer jobs and our jobs before and after school. We picked fruit, or we pruned trees, or we moved irrigation pipe, or we even fired the groves back then during the wintertime when the temperature would drop below freezing. It was a kind of an idyllic lifestyle growing up, and I'm very thankful that I had that opportunity to grow up in that small Florida community of Haines City. I'm a product of the public schools. I went to the University of Central Florida. I graduated with a degree in business administration. I'm currently married to my wife Flo. It'll be 20 years this year. We have 3 children and we have 4 grandchildren. They're the loves of our lives, and we absolutely adore them, and they're a big part of the reason why I'm running for governor. You know, I've never been a professional politician. I've never held public office. But for the last 7 years, I've been the chairman of the Republican Liberty Caucus of Florida. And in that capacity, I've been going back and forth to Tallahassee during the legislative session, during committee weeks leading up to the session, always at my own expense, working on legislation that our group either supports or opposes. And I've learned a lot about Tallahassee in the process. I've learned a lot about how it works. Quite frankly, more importantly, I've learned a lot about how it doesn't work. And I'm convinced that right now it doesn't work very well for the people of Florida. It works great for the political class, for the establishment, for the politicians and the bureaucrats and the lobbyists and the special interests that the lobbyists represent. They're in this big echo chamber up in Tallahassee. They're listening to each other, and they're taking care of each other's needs and doing each other's business. But in the process, the needs of the people of Florida go largely unmet. I've said from the very beginning of this campaign that the people of Florida have lost their voice in the process. It has literally been drowned out by hundreds of millions of dollars in special interest campaign cash that is flowing through political committees that are being operated not just by the corporations and the special interests, but by the politicians themselves. This is how they get around the caps on their campaign accounts. This is how they hide from you, the public, where the money is coming from in the first place that fuels their campaigns. And it's also how they can disguise what they're then using the money for. It's a pretty deplorable situation. It's a swamp in Tallahassee, just like the swamp in Washington, D.C. They both need to be drained. And only a candidate that's not taking that kind of cash in the first place is capable of going in there and draining that swamp. None of the other guys will drain it for you. They're too beholden to those special interests that are pouring all that cash into the process in the first place. So, if you're interested in a government in Tallahassee that is of, by, and for those special interests and their crony capitalist buddies with all of that campaign cash, then you're going to have plenty of other choices in this race. But if you're like me and you want to see the people's voice restored, if you're ready for a government in Tallahassee that is of, by, and for the people, then I hope you'll come to the conclusion that I'm really your only choice, and I hope you'll choose wisely. Choose Bob White. Thanks for taking the time to listen to me today.
Bob White doesn't accept special interest money. His campaign is a grassroots campaign, and he needs your help. Please like and share this video to help him spread his message, and visit bobforflorida.com to learn how you can contribute, volunteer, and spread his message. That's bobforflorida.com.